nearly 100% of the reason why the United States is the only country in the world that doesn't define healthcare as a right and doesn't have any sort of national healthcare system to speak of is because of racism. It really began in the 1880s, 1890s, when medicine became a thing. And there was this guy named Frederick Ludwig Hoffman who came over here from Germany. And he was a young man. He was 17, in fact, when he came over, and was a numbers genius. And he was the guy who figured out that there was a statistical association between working in a cotton mill and having lung problems, asbestos and mesothelioma, smoking and lung cancer, and diet and cancer. In fact, his book on the association between a high processed food diet and cancer is still in print. He's been dead since 1946, but his book is still around. So he's really smart in these things. And so he married this Southern belle from Georgia who was from a racist plantation family. And so he ran the numbers on black people and found that black people were dying, dropping like flies, more likely to be sick, more likely to die of pretty much everything. And concluded, which was the general consensus at the time among a lot of white people in the South, this is again in the 1890s, that black people were genetically inferior. And in 1896, he published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro, in which he lays out all the numbers, and then he concludes that if we simply avoided allowing black people to have any access to health care, that within 2 or 3 generations, the whole race would die out, and that would solve the race problem in America.
Now, it hadn't been too long ago where Luigi had put a slug in the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson. And then on yesterday, there was another individual that was on the premises of United Healthcare in Minnesota by the name of N. Stanley Wagner, and he was arrested because he was making threats. So there's a shift in America right now. People have been tired, but now the American people are sick and tired, and they're starting to do something about it as it.
Wow. So the racist stuff about black people was what really got me, man. That's sad. And to see that, if you look at the numbers of black people as far as all the diseases, we're number 1 in. And I think most of that probably comes from the diet. But this is why we can't trust our oppressors. They're still here. They already was scheming. If that right there just lets you know the sophistication of their schemes. And if we don't get out of this cloud of what they're got supervision over us, it's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on. It's sad that, we have to eliminate ourselves completely from some of these higher ups because they're all about using and abusing black people. So this is a good thing that all this is coming out, but it's just about the healthcare with black people. We got to come up with something where we can get our own healthcare. That Obamacare trash. We need something else.
Hi, my name's Lex. I'm a nurse, and if you take prescription medications, you're going to want to watch this video. As of this morning, Trump has imposed a 26% tariff on India. India makes 50% of all of the generic medications prescribed in the United States. That means your antibiotics, your diabetes medications, your blood pressure medications, your statins, your antidepressants, all of those, if they are the generic version that is manufactured in India, will increase in price by 26%. As a healthcare worker, this news terrifies me because medication compliance is a huge issue in the United States. The amount of people that we see that come to us in a medical crisis or emergency simply because they cannot afford their prescription medications is insane. I will never forget the day I took care of a father of 4, all under the age of 10, all of his children under the age of 10, who had to choose between feeding his kids and filling his antihypertensives, his blood pressure medications. Because of this choice, he obviously chose feeding his kids. A aneurysm that had been growing in his head burst because his blood pressure grew too high. And he died. These types of tariffs, these types of attacks on our medicine will kill people. And once again, we pay the tariffs. India does not pay the tariffs. You and I do. So now our medications, if they are the generic form, and one of the 1 and 2 medications that are the generic form manufactured in India, will increase in price by 26%. And people are going to die because of it. And people are going to die because of it. And people are going to die because of it.
Okay, so right now everybody's laughing at the people who buy designer because they're...
The original video that I'm stitching this to is pretty funny, but it's really surprising to me though that a lot of people don't talk about this, because anybody who has family in India or comes to visit knows that you buy all your prescription drugs here. There's a lot of stuff that you don't even need a prescription to pick up, like antibiotics or muscle relaxers, non-opioid painkillers. I mean, you just don't need them. The GLP-1s are the big thing, right? Even like my name brand Manjaro that I'm on my way to get my injection today is $42 per shot here. I think even directly in the US, it's like $1,000 a month, whereas I'm paying $168 for a month's supply. The city that I live in, Hyderabad, actually manufactures like 90% of the world's generic medicine right here in the city. And they're sold all over the world. And the government sets the price. That's why pharmaceuticals are so cheap here.
I'm in India right now. Come with me to go to a local pharmacy to see how much common medications cost in India compared to the US.
One of the best things about India is that you could go to any local pharmacy without a doctor's prescription and get almost any medication you want for a fraction of the cost. If you're diabetic and want to get some insulin injection, you could get $5 to $10 per vial compared to $300 to $500 in the US. And people usually go to 2 to 5 vials a month. Metformin is a very common anti-diabetic drug, very effective. It's a tenth of the cost in India. Amoxiclav is one of the most commonly prescribed antibiotics for common infections. For a 10-day course, it's $3.50 in India compared to $86 in the US. Steroids are very commonly used medications. Prednisone, 5 milligrams daily for 10 days would cost you 50 cents compared to $30 in the States. Now, tenofovir is a very commonly used HIV medication. It's one of the most effective. In India, it's $20 to $40 for a month supply compared to $2,000 to $3,000 in the US. Symbicort is for COPDers and asthmatics, $3 to $10 an inhaler compared to almost $300 in the US.
We're seeing this amazing upheaval with China showing how much luxury goods actually cost. And people are finally seeing, the car companies like BYD and how cheap their cars are, how much better the technology is, how you can even get personalized cars. But this is only the beginning. Once China shows that you can just get an Apple product without the Apple logo at cost, and the biggest one is going to be pharmaceuticals. So whether that's insulin production in India, any medication that you can think of that when you buy it from, your insurance in America, and a drug that you need to take costs $3,000 a month, but you could actually buy it direct from India for $5. Like, the revolution is being televised. The revolution is an information revolution right now. I think a lot of people were talking about Mario's brother and being like, when is that next part? Like, this is almost a spiritual sequential moment. We are seeing in real time the dissolution of the middleman and
it's crazy. I think that it's gonna cut out a lot of middlemen. You're gonna have to be, well, that huge markup is probably over with. I hope so, because a lot of companies is out here ripping people off.
dissolution of the idea of what quality means, what luxury means. It really is so shocking to me that China's this whole time just been like, let's just keep working and keep securing the bag. Like, let people think that these products are coming from Italy. Let them think that it's coming from France. We're still getting paid. So yeah, once pharmaceuticals start going the way of how China is speaking about these products and the markup, I think that we're going to see a major shift.
It's crazy, man. I mean, I ain't too big into using the medications, but definitely to know that you can get them over there for cheap. I need somebody who living in India, that plug. You probably can do some numbers right now with that stuff too. And holler at the team, man, see what we can set up.
Privy to the fact that our healthcare system is extremely flawed. And I believe that we're one of the few nations that don't provide free healthcare. Now, let me share with you the real reason why we don't have free healthcare in America, right? Check out this clip and I'll be back.
Y'all look out for that, man. We're going to be having the Wealth Builders, the Patreon. where we go in there and we show people how to get a bag. I catch y'all in the next video. I got Big Homie CC video coming up, man. I'm gonna be dropping some videos on that. Y'all look out for that. I catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.
You are totally dependent on other people to take care of your needs because you don't have those roots sunk into the ground. To have a community, you must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.